Today I'm going to guide you through a really lovely grounding and soothing moon flow. So we've been exploring some of the poses linked to the moon salutation in our class, and so this practice is going to support you in your home practice, finding this really beautiful uplifting movement where you can connect deeply to your breath and enjoy that balance between the breath and the movement, and explore this lovely circular movement around your mat. So let's start seated on the mat and take a few moments just to breathe and to connect, and then we'll start finding some movement in the body. So come down onto the ground, take a nice seat of your choice, and then let's settle straight in today. So allow your sitting bones to connect with the ground. Start to find some length through your spine, soften through the face, through the shoulders, and we'll just take a few breaths here together just to begin our practice today. So straight away, start to notice how you're feeling. Pick up on that kind of feeling of energy in the body. Is it quite buoyant? Are you feeling a little bit sluggish today? So don't feel the need to change anything. Let's simply observe how we're feeling today. And maybe softening the eyes is a really nice option here, just to take a moment to disconnect with anything else around us, bringing everything inwards just for a few moments, maybe very gently drawing the chin inwards a little bit and allowing that length to creep all the way right up through the neck and up to the very top of your head. Inhaling in through the nostrils, and then exhaling out through the mouth. Sigh the breath away. Feel yourself root down a little bit more through the ground beneath you. So straight away we're starting to find this lovely connection with the earth, feeling a sense of support and stability here before we take that forwards into the rest of our practice. So we're finding important moments to connect with ourselves fully. And the more we do this, the more we're able to quiet the mind and to almost feel a little bit more at peace with whatever comes up in the body. So one day maybe we're fidgety and it's quite hard to come into this space and connect. Other days we might just feel ourselves completely sort of slip into this moment and really sink into the ground, and all of the things that we talk about in our yoga practice happen effortlessly. And so it will be different every day that we come to the mats, but the more we do it, the more we become aware and in tune of all the little bits, the little elements of our practice that we need to draw on in this space. So take your time here, a few more breaths. So stay with that rhythm of your breath whilst I'm talking to you, inhaling and exhaling, finding that ebb and flow, that lovely pulsation of breath to help ground you, to really allow ourselves to anchor into the present moment. And keep softening through your face, releasing the jaw every so often. Maybe you're beginning to tune in with your Ujjayi breathing, which is where we're gathering the breath at the back of the throat. So we're creating this ocean breath, this sound of the breath as we breathe in and out through the nostrils. If that's not in your practice, then don't worry, just breathe in a way that feels good and energizing. So take your next inhalation, make it the longest, deepest breath you've taken today. Really fill up the whole of your body here. So let that breath come in, send it to every single cell of your being, let it permeate through the entire body. Fill yourself right up, then pause at the top for a moment. Keep softening through the shoulders, and then really let that breath go consciously, slowly let that exhalation seep away, drawing through the navel, bringing the navel back towards the spine, very gently activating through the abdominal wall. Really lovely. Then blink the eyes, open gently here, sweep the arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, let's come into a gentle twist. So over into our easy pose twist, over to the right, finding a little bit of rotation through the spine, very gently activating through the shoulder blades, stretching across the front of the body. Really lovely. Exhaling, coming back to center, taking it to the other side. So inhaling again, lifting that energy right up to the fingertips, and then over we go to the left side. Inhaling, and we exhale, coming all the way back to center. Great. Plant your right palm down on the ground, reach up into your left fingertips, and then take a gentle bend over to the right here. So careful not to force. It's early in the practice here, so we're warming up the muscles, allowing the connective tissues to begin to soften, maybe easing back and forth here into the pose. So using your inhalation to sweep up and your exhalation to sweep over to the right. Next time you come over to the side, maybe you can creep that hand away from you. So your right hand away a little bit further. Perhaps for some of us, we can sink down onto the forearm, really allowing the muscles to stretch across the side of the body. So opening up through the flank, and just lift your gaze here slightly. So rather than the head dropping down, we're lifting the chin up a little bit, gazing up towards the arm. So we keep this rotation through the front of the body. If this is too much, then don't force your way into it. Stay further up. Be creating exactly the same, but within your fullest expression of the pose. So that's always something to bear in mind. So keep breathing, and then we're going to take it all the way to the other side. So we're windmilling the arms, using that inhalation to take us up, and then the exhalation to take us over. Inhaling, drawing up and open, exhale, over to the left. Keeping the rotation through the chest. Inhaling. Exhaling, maybe sinking a little bit deeper, so the left hand is creeping away perhaps. Maybe this side, it feels easier, perhaps stickier, so often one side of the body will feel quite different to the other side. So pay attention today to what's coming up for you. And then lifting all the way up. Just plant the hands down for a moment, maybe coming onto the fingertips, pressing the hands down to the ground, whichever feels best for you. Take a moment here just to open up through the chest, feel your collarbones stretching. Exhale, grounding down, connecting with our root chakra, really feeling this lovely connection through the tailbone, sinking the energy down into the ground. And then in response, we feel this wave of energy lifting all the way back up to the crown. Finding space in the spine. Let's lift the right arm all the way up and overhead, and then take the left hand to your right elbow. And then very gently you're going to draw, I'm going to just move around so you can see from a different position. You're going to draw your fingertips down towards that space in between your shoulder blades. You're getting a lovely stretch here and an opening through your right arm all the way up to the elbow. Chin is gently tucked. Keep breathing. And then release all the way back down, hands reaching for the ground. Another big breath in, opening again through the chest. Exhaling, drawing navel towards the spine. Softening the shoulders. This time, take it to the other side. So left arm is reaching all the way up. Fingertips creeping down into that space between your shoulder blades. Right hand reaches up and over, taking hold of your left elbow. And then same thing here, a gentle stretch. So you're very gently putting a little bit of pressure into the elbow so that you can really stretch out through the arm. Careful not to force, explore this space with your breath. Releasing all the way down to the ground. And then from this space, we're going to lift up into a little squat. So you can take your feet wide and come straight into your squat if that is in your practice. If that's not in your practice, then that's absolutely fine. You can bring your feet inwards, bring yourself through your Uttanasana, and then take your feet wide from here, as wide as it feels good for you, and then sink yourself down into Malasana. So there's always the option here, if Malasana isn't feeling very accessible today, you can take your blocks or a couple of cushions or something underneath you to help you lift into this space so that you're able to ground your tailbone whilst opening up through the chest. So move in a way that feels intuitive for you today. And here in Malasana, really connect again with this feeling of strength and stability. So we're really rooting down through our tailbone. So connecting deeply with our root chakra. And we're tuning in with our pelvic floor here. And we're lifting the energy all the way up through the spine. So close your eyes down for a moment. Connect with this space. If it feels too intense, you can lift up at any point. You can come up onto the thighs. You can come into a higher version of this pose. So plenty of options. Soften through the face. Notice what sensations come up here, whether it's a physical sensation, whether there's some emotional sort of sensations and feelings creeping in. So maybe there's some stress or agitation sometimes when we're opening up through the hips. We often talk about the things that can throw up in this space. So just connect, notice, observe, allow yourself to feel it. And then release the hands down as you exhale, plant them into the ground, lift up through your hips. Heel toe your feet in towards each other so the feet are hip distance apart, and we take a lovely nourishing forward fold. Soften through the knees a fraction. Allow the upper body to float over the thighs. Find this deep release through the spine. So not forcing here through the hips, through the front of the body, but creating that little bend in the legs so that we can really let the spine let go here. Let's push down into the feet, find that lovely sense of grounding, connecting, and start to draw energy all the way up the body, lifting yourself up into your mountain pose. Taking a moment here. Hands are drawing in towards each other, into Anjali Mudra, into our prayer. Taking a breath, opening up through the front of the body. Feel yourself grounding down again through the back of the body. So there's almost a sense of energy lifting up all the way from your toes over the front of the body, sweeping down the back of the body, drawing you into the ground so you really arrive into this space. Breathing deeply And then when you're ready, turning to face the length of your yoga mat. Palms drawing into the heart space. Taking a big breath in, reaching the arms up overhead, finding that steeple grip, and then bending over to the right side. Inhale, lifting up and over to the left. Once more either side, inhaling, exhaling to the right, and grounding into your heels. Inhale, all the way over to the left. Reaching back up. Exhale, palms into the heart space. One breath in. As you exhale, take a nice step with your left foot coming into your wide leg forward fold. So hands onto the hips, taking a breath in. Exhale, we float all the way down, nice length through the spine, bringing the hands down to the ground, or you could place your hands onto a couple of blocks to bring the ground up to you. And then just very gently easing the heels away from each other, so the heels are drawing out towards the shorter ends of your mat. Breathing deeply. Palms are walking in towards each other. Sorry, not in towards each other, but in towards, so they're in line with the arches of your feet. Breathing. Exhale, take your hands to your ankles. Soften through your chin. Soften through the neck. Breathe deeply. Draw in through the belly, feel your core activating. Place the hands onto the hips and push down to the feet as you lift yourself all the way back up. Great, draw your heels in towards each other. Lift the hands right up to the ceiling. And then exhale, we're sinking into goddess pose. So heels coming in towards each other a little bit, and we sink all the way down. So your knees are over ankles, drawing in through the belly here, lengthening down through the tailbone. Breathing into goddess pose, inhaling. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. One more breath. Exhale, feel that burn in the thighs. Inhale, lift it all back up into your star pose. Exhale, arms are reaching towards the ends of your yoga mat. Right foot draws around, so placing the right foot around at about 45 degrees. And then your left foot is now facing the back of your yoga mat, coming through into our Trikonasana pose. Breathing deeply. So here there's always the option to rest your hand on a block, or you could place your hand lower down beneath the knee, so not on the knee, but down here on your shin. Or you can bring your hand all the way to the ground, depending on what's available to you today. So careful here not to lock through your left knee. Open through the chest, so we're looking here to keep this lovely rotation. So we're drawing back through the hip and we're opening up through the chest. Shoulder blades drawing towards each other behind us. Great. Release that right hand all the way down to the ground, coming into pyramid pose, so picking up that back foot and hopping it in a fraction. Finding length through both legs now, so inhaling onto the fingertips, find length through the spine. Maybe this is enough to stay here. Maybe as you exhale, you creep the upper body down a little bit more, so nose is coming towards your knee. It will vary massively on what time of the day you're practicing. It will depend on lots of things, the length of your hamstring, the anatomy of your pelvis, so don't worry too much about whether your pose looks the same as mine. Mine will look the same, will look different to lots of other people. Breathing deeply. One more big breath in. And then exhale, pick up your right foot, step it back, and sink down onto the right knee. We're lifting up now into Anjaneyasana. So steady yourself and then lift that energy up overhead. Steeple grip again here. Maybe inviting a little bit of a bend through the back of the body. Activating the muscles along the spine, opening and lengthening through the front of the body. Exhale, we sweep the hands down in front of that, to the side of the left foot. And then tuck your right toes and swing yourself around so you're facing the length of your yoga mat, coming into Skandasana. So lots of options here. You might stay in this position with the right toes flexed, with your fingertips onto the ground. You might place your left palm down and choose to open up through the right arm, finding this lovely stretch. Or maybe you're experimenting today with your balance in Skandasana. Always a very tricky one for me. Really drawing up through the pelvic floor, softening through my face, not gripping. And then when you're ready, lifting it all the way up and over to the other side. So same thing, Skandasana with the left leg extended now. How does it feel on this side of the body? Maybe taking that lovely opening through the left wing, stretching, twisting a little bit into the spine. Maybe there's a balance on this side of the body, maybe not. So take your time, soften, smile, embrace the wobbles. And then bring your hands down to the ground. We're going to rotate ourselves around, so pivoting around back to the top end, the front end of your mat where you started the practice. Sinking back down now into our lunge, this time with the right foot forward, so sinking onto the left knee, sweeping that energy, lifting up into Anjaneyasana. Steeple grip here, opening up through the chest. Breathing deeply, careful not to dump that weight into your low spine, so keep lifting up. Exhaling, hands coming down to the ground, tuck your left toes, and then you're going to push into the left foot and step it in a fraction, coming back into our pyramid pose. This time, right foot is forward. Maybe it feels quite different on this side, so drawing length all the way through that right leg, drawing back into your right hip crease, and then maybe the back foot is planted, maybe the heel is slightly lifted. Again, it will be different for each of us. And then release your chin, let go of any tension through your neck. Use your breath, maybe let the breath go out through the mouth. Moving into Trikonasana, stepping the back foot away just a little bit, planting it down so it's at about 45 to 90 degrees. Your right hand comes inside the right foot. You're drawing all the way up into your right hip crease. Draw back into the hip crease so that then you can open up and find this rotation through the upper body. So maybe gazing out ahead, perhaps looking up to your left arm. Maybe the hand is placed onto the shin or onto a block. So choose your option, embrace any wobbles. Careful not to force in your Trikonasana. Keep hugging muscle to bone. Feel this lift of energy up from the feet. We're going to inhale, lift ourselves all the way up. So arms reaching towards the end of your mat. Bring your feet in towards each other. Heels drawing in, and we come back into our goddess pose. Big breath in. Exhale, sinking down. Maybe here we experiment with coming onto the tiptoe, so maybe one foot at a time. Maybe you choose to experiment with bringing the body onto both tiptoes. Breathing deeply. Releasing, stretching the hands away, walk the heels away from each other, coming all the way back down into our wide-legged forward fold. Choose your variation here, maybe on blocks, maybe hands are drawing back in line with the arches of the feet, releasing crown down towards the ground. Some of you may well be able to rest your head against the ground, maybe others not, like me. We're going to start to move towards the top of the mat, so pivoting the feet, facing the top end of your yoga mat where you started the practice, coming into your runner's lunge, and then stepping the left foot all the way back up, coming back into Uttanasana. Let's draw up into half forward fold, inhaling, drawing the shoulders back. Exhale all the way down, folding to the ground. Find that lovely expansive breath. Stay here a moment longer. And then very slowly, we're going to start to sink the body down towards the ground, coming through into a little ball, maybe giving yourself a hug here for a moment. And then releasing all the way to the ground. So take the hands around behind you. Bring yourself onto the ground. Draw the soles of your feet towards each other. And we're coming into our cobbler's pose. So don't worry about whether the heels are close into the body or further apart, further away. Sorry, can't get my words. Just find that position that feels comfortable, and then take your hands onto the ankles. Lift yourself up from the pelvis. So feel this lovely lift of energy. Shoulders rolling down the back of the body. Nice breath in, exhale, soften. Same thing again. And then this time, we're going to release forwards a little bit. So maybe onto your palms, and that will feel enough. Maybe you're able to release down onto the forearms, and your nose is coming down towards your toes. Really anchor yourself into the moment with your breath. Lovely, nourishing, deep inhalations and exhalations. Finding that soothing, grounding energy. Slowly creeping up. If you were released down onto the ground, take your hands to the knees and then gently draw the knees in towards each other. Just stay here for a moment. And then let's stretch out the left leg. Take the right foot over that left leg, so the right foot is planted next to the left thigh, and then sweep your left arm all the way around, hug in your right leg, and then the right arm releases all the way around behind. Take a gentle twist here. Inhale. Exhale. Come all the way back to center. Stretch your right leg out this time. Left leg draws in, cross it over the thigh. This time, right arm sweeps in, drawing the left leg in towards the chest, and left arm sweeps around behind. One more breath in. Exhale. Release and let go. And let's take it down onto the ground, ending our practice into Shavasana. Find a comfortable resting position here. Allow the heels to stretch out to the corners of your mat, your arms to rest either side of the body, palms facing up to the sky, fingertips gently curling inwards. Take a moment to enjoy that connection with the back of the body against the ground. Soften and just let go of everything here. Allow all of the muscles to really soften. Letting go of any tension through the face, through the jaw. And finding a moment before you move into the rest of your day to soak up this nourishing movement that you found on your mat today. Take a moment to acknowledge the fact that you've shown up. You've carved out some time for yourself. Returned to your practice with a real sense of steadiness and ease. So you can stay here a little longer if you have time to spare today, extending your Shavasana, breathing deeply, enjoying the stillness and the quiet in the body, in the mind. Or if you need to move into the rest of your day, then very slowly start to find a little bit of movement through your toes and through your fingers. Bring your breath back into the body and then very slowly start to roll over onto one side of the body. It doesn't matter which. Take a moment here and then push yourself very gently all the way back into a cross-legged position on your mat. Reconnect with the sitting bones, find that length. Palms drawing towards each other. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Have a lovely day.